Well, that's not that's not the label's fault, because I think if Drake would have went back to making music the regular way after the battle, label would have still supported him. I don't think the label stopped supporting him because just for no reason. I think the label stopped supporting him because they realized that he was going after them. So they're like, well, if you're gonna go after us, then we ain't putting nothing out. Torture Talk After Hours, you know what it is. So look, man, we're gonna check in with my boy over here, Never Give Up. You know what I'm saying? He got some things to say and about the clean sweep that Kendrick did. And yeah, man, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Let's get to the content.
Y'all, this is really crazy work. Do y'all realize what happened tonight? Did the Grammys just sent Drake a message? It's almost like they deported him from America.
All right, so if you've been living under a rock or living under the sea, Kendrick Lamar won all 5 awards, every category he was in when it came to Not Like Us. He made first rapper in history to do something like that. And he broke the curse of the Song of the Year when it comes to this. And everybody was loving it. This right here, I believe, is the dagger. This is it for Drake. This one here. Because it's not even the fact that Drake's going to fall off. But when I say the dagger, I'm saying Drake seeing this himself is really hurting him. Because this didn't really have to go this way. I'll be honest with you. It could have went a whole nother way. But Drake kind of caused this. Put it on himself.
And I hope y'all saw the symbolism in a lot of the things that happened tonight, and I'm going to explain it. Number one, Kendrick Lamar made history at the Grammys. He won more awards for any song, not just a rap song, but for any song in history. Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best Music Video.
Oh, that's crazy, bro. I could just imagine being in the position that this man is in. That's crazy work right there. Like, you the only artist in history to do something like that? The only artist in history. Which you probably going to be the only artist in history to do. You're the only artist in history, the only rap artist to win a Pulitzer Prize. Bro, what can you really say? Like, what can we say? I know a lot, and I hate to say this, but it's the truth. I know a lot of black people hate awards. Black people, we hate awards. We always complaining about it. And because it's not fair to who we like. You know what I'm saying? So people would get on here and say, oh, this ain't right. I've seen this. I'm telling you. You're going to see more people come out and say this because for some reason, black people, we, not as a whole, but a good portion of black people, we hate award shows. Whether it's the Grammys, BET Awards, SB Awards, because a lot of times they give the awards to people we don't think deserve it. But in this case, Kendrick Lamar deserves it. He deserves it all. And I think that we need to acknowledge that instead of sitting here pretending like he doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
He had so many Grammys in his hand, he needed an extra hand. He needed an extra 2 hands. I think Mustard had to come up and grab one of the Grammys. And it's not just because he won all of these awards for a Drake diss. But it's a few things that happened. By the way, Taylor Swift, I saw you twerking, baby. All right? If you would have twerked like that for Kamala, maybe she would have got a few more votes, all right? Relax. But Taylor Swift dancing to Not Like Us. You had the crowd, when Kendrick went on the stage, they said, A minor.
That's 100% facts. Taylor Swift was dancing, and when Mustard said, get the broom out, she literally said, get the broom out. Like, I don't know what it is with Taylor Swift, but I don't know if Taylor Swift is in love with Kendrick or she just loves black culture, but she really, really likes Kendrick. Like, I don't know if she's fascinated by him for some reason. I don't know what it is. She like really, really likes Kendrick. I see it in her face whenever she sees him. She just like, her eyes are just wide. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's go.
The crowd, like that all-star celebrity crowd, nothing but celebrities, all singing to Drake's Downfall. Let that sink in. Billie Eilish, all of them. They said Blue Ivy was singing it. Blue Ivy. No wonder Drake decided to be out of the country this month, because this Black History Month, it's not going to be a good month for that Canadian. You might want to stay over in the UK for a little longer, because when the Super Bowl come, I mean, it's going to be nasty work.
Man, if y'all think that what happened at the Grammys was bad, the Super Bowl, oh my God, it's gonna be really bad. I'm talking like, it's gonna be, and it's not even because they gonna play Not Like Us. It's because of the success that Drake's seeing. This man is doing a Super Bowl before me, twice actually. And I think, again, I believe Drake is a big artist, but we have to put this in perspective, because if Drake's the bigger artist, how is he the bigger artist in a way if Kendrick is performing at bigger venues? Like, I mean, Drake has 13 number one hits. I believe Kendrick has 7 now. But Kendrick has 22 Grammys and Drake has 5. So what is the argument? I don't understand. I mean, it has to equal itself out at some point. Kendrick has more Spotify listeners than Drake. Drake has more overall streams than Kendrick. But Kendrick has more listeners than Drake. So, I mean, at some point we have to come to some type of, is this a tie or whatever? What's going on here?
It's going to be nasty work. And after these Grammys, I'm convinced, even if he don't play Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, it really won't matter, because the job has been done. Here's a few more things I noticed about the Grammys. And y'all remember when I told y'all the Grammys has a history of disrespecting black people. And before the Weeknd got up to perform, they gave a speech about how the Grammys has looked over black people, and, you know, they heard all of the concerns, and they got new people on the board, and they're changing the way they vote for these awards. They
I totally disagree with that. I don't think that the Grammys has a history of disrespecting black people. I think that their Grammys has a history of not giving certain awards to people, but I don't think they have a history of disrespecting black people. Most of the artists that won Grammys are black. A good matter of fact, I would say more artists that are black won probably more Grammys than white artists. If you, well, obviously there will probably be more white artists in totality, but in as in individually, Beyonce has the most Grammys. She's black. Michael Jackson has a lot of Grammys. He's black. Uh, um, who's that? Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, uh, Jay Z. Jay Z's has the most Grammys out of rappers. Eminem's not black, but yeah, he's, you know what he said. But I don't agree with that. I don't think that the Grammys has a history of disrespecting black people because black people performed at the Grammy. Like, I don't think that's the case. I think that the Grammys has a history of not giving black people album of the year and maybe song of the year. But for the most part, the last 10 years, the Grammys been all hip hop, really, to be honest with you. And the whole thing with the Weeknd, which he's about to bring up, I know he is because that's why he's saying this. The Weeknd, the reason why he boycotted the Grammys, it wasn't because of, I don't believe it was because I think because they snubbed him, number one. Number two, it was because he wanted to do the Super Bowl and he wanted to do the Grammy. They said you only could do one or the other. And he like, well, how are you telling me I could only do one or the other? You know what I'm saying? Plus they never really gave a reason why. Like it was just up in the air. So, you know, it wasn't like I didn't see any articles of the reason why the Grammys didn't say, but they definitely snubbed him like off of After Hours, which was the best album of that year by far, and it didn't win no awards, which is crazy. How you not? I don't even know if Blinding Lights won a Grammy, but it's the biggest song of all time, and it didn't win a Grammy, which is crazy to me. There's a lot of artists like that too. Just to let y'all know, a lot of artists has the bigger records and they didn't win anything. Like, so.
Listen. And then they bring out the Weeknd. Somebody who they showed a tweet on the screen and was like, yo, the Weeknd had an issue with how the Grammys was ran. But they had the Weeknd come out and perform. You know, Drake also had criticisms about the Grammys. But he's not there. But the other guy who's Drake's op, the Weeknd, he gets to talk about the Grammys, criticize it, and come and perform. And then
I think you mixing the arguments too, bro. Like, it's not because no, it's not because of that. It was the Weeknd. I don't think the Weeknd was just criticizing the Grammys. I think the Weeknd had an issue with the Grammys because they wanted him to perform and he wanted to do both, and they said no. That's what I read. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, I said this, that the Weeknd was going to be the one because he just dropped the album. He was going to be the one that performed there, and they was going to come to a medium or whatever. But I don't think the Weeknd. At least I didn't see no tweets or anything from the Weeknd. Maybe some people put it up, but I didn't see nothing from him saying the Grammys is trash or something like that. Now Drake, totally different. Maybe the Weeknd did say it, and I just didn't see it.
Top of that, we broke history with the guy who made the diss record about you. So Kendrick makes the Drake diss. He gets 5 awards. And your other op, they said, hey, yeah, you can say whatever you want about us. You can come and perform. We love you. You the Canadian we like. That other guy, he's not like us.
Drake?
It was a lot of symbolism in these Grammys. And to me, it just all felt like a middle finger towards Aubrey Drake Graham. You had so many people in media on Twitter saying, this is the end of Drake. Put him in the coffin. It's a wrap. I'm not saying Drake can't come back, but it's going to be a tall hill. And after the beef,
that's 100% facts. I agree with that. No one's saying Drake can't come back, and if he do, but he definitely gonna need the record labels in his corner, because without those record labels, without them pushes, man, if Drake party album do only 150,000 copies, his career is over, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, his career is done. Because once people see that, Once people see him take a hit like that, then now if he comes out and he does 300,000, then I could say, okay, yeah, maybe his career is not affected as we think. But people could just be curious. So we have to be the next project after this one. So this one could probably do good because people just curious to see what he have to say. You know what I'm saying? But the following week, if the album drops down like GNX is still selling. The following week, if that album drops down to, I don't know, let's say he sell 300,000 the first week, and then the following week he only do 50 or 60 or 70,000 copies. Yeah, it's over for him, bro. It's over.
I didn't think it was gonna get this bad. I thought it would kind of be like when Drake beat Meek, and you know it was a little time where Meek had to shake it off, and yeah, maybe some people had an issue when Meek and Drake pieced it up, but you know eventually Meek came back and people forgot about it. I mean, they're not letting Drake forget this. They're going to make sure he remembers what Kendrick Lamar did to him. And so I'm not saying I agree with the lawsuit, but I guess I understand, because if you like, what option do you have? You can't, like, can you fight back in the studio? Because if you don't have the label on your side, can you even compete musically? Because
that's what I'm saying. Can he really compete musically? Because I think if you Lucian Grains and Dr. Dre's hugging each other, high-fiving each other, maybe because they won an award, maybe because it's up against other studios or whatever, I don't know. But if you got them doing that, yeah, bro, it's over for you.
what does Drake look like without the labels pumping the numbers? And I'm not saying all of his numbers are fake, but they said it's this algorithm where, you know, the labels, they add a few millions to the song to help it, you know, go viral. And then the listens and the plays start to be natural. But what does Drake look like without that pump, without that boost, without that extra push? And maybe he realized that. And maybe that's why he said, I gotta sue. Because they not going to let me fight back with music. Because when I tried to release stuff, it really didn't hit like that.
Well, that's not that's not the label's fault, because I think if Drake would have went back to making music the regular way after the battle, label would have still supported him. I don't think the label stopped supporting him because just for no reason. I think the label stopped supporting him because they realized that he was going after them. So like, well, if you're gonna go after us, then we ain't putting nothing out. And you gotta understand, in negotiating, we don't know what happens in the negotiations. I don't know. People are saying the reason why is because Drake had a deal going on, and his deal with UMG, he wanted this amount of money. We don't know that. Nobody knows that.
It didn't feel like Drake with the melodies. It's like Kendrick took Drake out the hood. He started from the bottom. He took that out of Drake, and he took Drake with the melodies too. He took the hotline blings from Drake. He knocked the hotline blings out of Drake. Jesus. And this Grammys, it just cemented that. And I just didn't feel like the Grammys would be a funeral for Drake. I didn't feel like that would be the case. But here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is a funeral for Drake. I think that the Grammys was something that we seen, and we said to ourselves, like, oh man, like this is really the end. You know what's so crazy? A lot of people didn't think that this would ever happen. That's why it's so shocking, because they thought that he was the internet. He was the industry darling. I mean, he was the industry guy, the boy, the kid, whatever. He was the guy, and they would never do nothing like this. But you got to understand, even the best players get cut. That's how it goes. You could be the best player and get traded. Because it's all about revenue and money. Money is always going to be the best player. If you got the money, they could get rid of you. They will. They don't need Drake. These industries, these record labels don't need Drake. For what? They don't need him. That's why I said when the boy said, "Oh, if Drake was to go independent, the music industry would collapse." Like, come on, bro. Like, that was so stupid to say. It's like, no, it won't. It will not. And he been in the music industry much longer than I have, and I'm telling you, that's a bold-faced lie. The music industry a collapse if Drake was to go independent. Like, all right, dog, I'm out of here. Like, come on. But thank y'all for joining me this morning. Appreciate y'all. See y'all. Peace. Bye. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Torture Talk. And yeah, man. Let's get it.